that feeling you had today. It wasn't intuition. It was your future self reaching out. Something is happening to millions of people right now, a shift they can feel but cannot explain. They wake up with a strange heaviness, an inner pressure, a subtle knowing that the life they're living is not the life they were meant for. It feels like an internal mismatch, as if their soul is running on a different frequency than the world around them. Across the United States, people describe the same symptoms. A sudden sensitivity to energy. A feeling of being out of alignment. A pull toward a life they can't yet see. Glitches, synchronicities, strange timing. A sense that something is trying to reach them. What they don't realize is that these aren't problems. They're signals. Signals from a future version of themselves that already upgraded. Quantum research from MIT, Stanford, and Princeton's Pear Lab all point toward the same finding: human consciousness interacts with reality at the subatomic level. This means your thoughts, emotions, and expectations literally push the quantum field into different outcomes. And when you're not aligned with your true path, the field pushes back. That resistance, that internal friction, is the problem. People feel lost not because they lack purpose, but because they are disconnected from the timeline where their purpose already exists. They feel anxious not because something is wrong, but because their current identity is too small for the frequency they're growing into. This misalignment shows up as emotional turbulence. Sudden dissatisfaction with things that once felt comfortable. A sense of urgency with no logical reason. A feeling of, this version of me is expiring. A deep craving for something more, something higher, something real. Most Americans try to numb this feeling. They drown it with work, entertainment, social media, or constant noise. But distraction doesn't delete the signal, it only delays the inevitable. Because here is the truth. You can suppress your future self for only so long before it forces its way in. This is why people experience back-to-back synchronicities. This is why the same numbers keep appearing. This is why the same thoughts repeat in your mind over and over. This is why you feel a shift in your chest at random moments. This is why your old life suddenly feels too small. Your future self is not passive. It is active. It is intelligent. And it is trying to merge with you. But because most people are stuck in survival mode, they cannot decode the signs. Survival blocks intuition. Stress blocks guidance. Fear blocks communication. When your nervous system is overwhelmed, your quantum field contracts, narrowing the reality you can access. And this is the real problem. People are living in realities created by their past, while their future self is begging them to update. This version of you, the you watching this video, is standing between two timelines. The timeline where nothing changes. And the timeline where everything upgrades. One path keeps you stuck in old patterns. The other leads you toward the life your future self already built. But until you understand how the signals work, until you understand how the quantum field communicates, how timelines overlap, and how intuition operates as a multidimensional GPS, you will always feel confused, lost, or stuck. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are receiving a transmission. And the only reason it feels uncomfortable is because you haven't learned how to translate it yet. The discovery never arrives loudly. It slips into your life quietly, disguised as a strange moment you can't shake. Maybe it's the sudden wave of déjà vu that hits you so hard you have to stop and focus. Maybe it's the number 1111 appearing so consistently that logic can no longer explain it. Maybe it's a dream that feels like a memory from a life you haven't lived yet. Almost everyone who awakens to their higher timeline reports one defining experience: it felt like something was trying to get my attention. That's where the discovery begins, not with enlightenment, but with awareness. The moment you realize that the universe has been communicating with you long before you ever started listening. Scientists call these anomalies non-local correlations, moments when reality behaves like it already knows what you're about to do. Spiritual teachers call them synchronicities. But what if there's something else entirely? What if they're messages from your future self? Quantum mechanics reveals something extraordinary: the past and future are not fixed points, they are probabilistic fields. This means your future already exists as a frequency, a blueprint, a pattern in the quantum field. And as your consciousness evolves, you begin tuning into that frequency more clearly. This is why the signs intensify. This is why intuition sharpens. This is why you feel guided toward certain choices, certain people, certain experiences. Because you are being guided by the version of you that already succeeded. Many people describe a moment where everything suddenly clicked, not logically, but energetically. They may say, "I felt like something was pulling me toward a new path. I kept seeing the same symbol until it forced me to investigate. I felt connected to something bigger than myself." But here is the real discovery: the voice guiding you isn't an angel, a spirit, or an external entity. It's you, the higher you, the you who already healed, already awakened, already aligned. This realization changes everything. Because once you understand that your future self is real, intelligent, and active in the quantum field, you stop feeling alone. You stop feeling lost. You begin to trust the signs instead of doubting them. You begin to follow intuition instead of ignoring it. You feel a sense of partnership with something invisible yet deeply familiar. And slowly, your perception of reality begins to shift. You start noticing patterns that were always there. You start recognizing emotional nudges as guidance. You start understanding that every impulse has meaning. You start seeing how life rearranges itself when you move in alignment. One of the most powerful discoveries people make is that intuition doesn't predict the future, it remembers it. It's remembering the timeline your soul already chose, the timeline your higher self already built. And every time you follow that inner pull, even when it makes no logical sense, you collapse the distance between your present self and your future self. This discovery leads to an even bigger realization: the universe responds the moment you begin paying attention. When you notice the signs, more signs appear. When you follow the guidance, more guidance unfolds. When you trust your inner voice, its volume amplifies. This is not magic. It's resonance. It's quantum coherence, your energy syncing with the frequency of your higher timeline. And once this discovery settles into your awareness, something awakens inside you. You begin to understand that you are not waiting for your future is waiting for you. And now, for the first time, you're finally starting to listen. Once you realize your future self is guiding you, the next question becomes, how do I actually connect with it? This is where most people get stuck. They feel the signs. They sense the pull. They know something higher is trying to reach them, but they don't know how to tune into that frequency on command. The truth is, connection isn't accidental. It's intentional. And there is a method. A real, repeatable, scientifically supported method that aligns your present consciousness with your future identity. Quantum physics calls this state selection. Spirituality calls it alignment. You are about to learn both. Step 1, quiet the noise, the frequency reset. Your future self broadcasts on a higher frequency than your everyday thoughts. Stress, fear, overthinking, emotional clutter, all of these lower your signal. You can't hear guidance when your mind is loud. That's why the first step is so simple it's often ignored: silence. Every day, for just 5 minutes, you need stillness. Not meditation with mantras. Not visualization. Just stillness. When your brainwaves slow down, your consciousness shifts from beta, survival mode, into alpha, receiving mode. This change alone makes your intuition louder and your internal resistance weaker. Step 2, emotional tuning, feel the future first. Quantum mechanics shows that the field responds to emotion, not just thought. Your future self has a specific emotional signature, maybe confidence, peace, clarity, abundance, or power. To connect with that version of you, you must feel what they feel. Not someday. Now. Emotion is the bridge. Instead of asking, what do I want, ask, how does the future me feel, and how can I feel that right now? This immediately collapses the gap between timelines. Step 3, Identity Shift. Think like the future you. Your future self already lives the life you desire. They think differently. They choose differently. They react differently. The method is simple. When faced with any decision, ask, what choice would my future self make? Then make that choice. Even if it's uncomfortable. Especially if it's uncomfortable. Every aligned decision pulls you deeper into the timeline you want. Step 4, Microquantum actions, small shifts, big collapses. Quantum theory proves that small actions create large probability collapses. In simple terms, tiny changes can trigger huge timeline shifts. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to make one aligned action a day. One habit upgrade. One boundary. One new thought. One bold move. When repeated daily, these create a compound energetic effect that aligns your entire reality. Step 5, Listen to the signals, synchronicity tracking. Your future self communicates through patterns. When you acknowledge them, the connection strengthens. When you ignore them, the connection weakens. Keep a simple log. What numbers did you see? What impulses showed up? What synchronicities appeared? Tracking the signs makes you more receptive to guidance, and the field responds by sending even more. Step 6, the quantum ask, give the field instructions. Most people ask for what they want from a place of lack. That request collapses into a timeline of still wanting. The method flips this. Instead of asking from emptiness, you ask from embodiment. Close your eyes and speak as the future version of you. I experience this now. I embody this now. I am this now. When spoken in that state, the field doesn't interpret it as a wish, it interprets it as identity. And identity is what rewrites timelines. Step 7, surrender the how, drop the resistance. Your future self already knows the path. Your job is not to force the steps, it's to follow the pull. When you try to control the method, you disconnect. When you trust the unfolding, you sink. Surrender is not giving up. It's tuning up. Through these steps, you don't become your future self, you merge with it. And once that happens, your reality begins to shift automatically, as if life itself is rearranging to match the new frequency you're broadcasting. Transformation doesn't happen the moment you learn the method, it happens the moment the method starts changing you from the inside out. At first, the shifts are subtle. You'll feel them before you see them. A clearer mind. A calmer nervous system. A sudden moment where you realize you're no longer thinking like the old you. Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of doubting, you sense. Instead of forcing, you follow. These small internal shifts signal the beginning of a deeper transformation. You are starting to merge with the frequency of your future self. And once that happens, reality responds. People describe this phase like entering a new dimension. Conversations feel different. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Your energy becomes magnetic. Instead of chasing, you attract. Instead of hoping, you align. Instead of wishing, you embody. The universe rearranges around your new identity because the quantum field mirrors who you are, not what you want. The old timeline begins to dissolve. You stop resonating with people who drain you. You stop engaging in habits that lower you. You stop replaying stories that limit you. It's not discipline, it's evolution. You simply outgrow the life you once accepted. Emotionally, this stage can feel both empowering and terrifying. Empowering because you finally sense momentum. Terrifying because your old identity begins to die. An identity death always feels like loss, even when it's liberation. Many people report moments where they feel like they're between worlds. Not the old version. Not yet the full new version. Just in between, floating, shifting, upgrading. That feeling is normal. It means your field is recalibrating. During this transformation, synchronicities intensify. You may see repeating numbers constantly. 1111, 222. 555, you'll meet people who feel strangely familiar, as if you've known them in another reality. Your dreams become vivid, symbolic, instructional, your future self using the subconscious as a training ground. You'll experience moments where you think of someone and they immediately call or text. Or you think of a possibility and it appears within days. These aren't coincidences, they're feedback. Proof that you are shifting from probability to alignment. Even your emotions change. You begin feeling surges of inspiration for no logical reason. You wake up with clarity about decisions you were confused about for months. You get impulses to start something new or leave something old. You feel guided, like someone is walking one step ahead of you, clearing your path. And that someone is you. The more you embody your future self, the more life responds instantly. In this stage, the delays shrink. Manifestations happen faster. Opportunities show up quicker. People treat you differently because you treat yourself differently. The transformation also reveals hidden truths. You begin to understand why things didn't work out before. You see why certain relationships had to end. You see why rejection was actually protection. Your life story makes sense through a new lens, the lens of alignment. And then, the biggest shift occurs, you stop doubting your path. You feel connected to something bigger, deeper, higher, something intelligent and intentional. A timeline that was always meant for you. A destiny that was always waiting. A future version of you that never gave up. This transformation is not an upgrade, it's a return. A return to the version of you that your soul always knew you could become. A return to the timeline your future self prepared. A return to the life your frequency finally matches. And once the transformation locks in, the mission begins. The transformation is not the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your mission. Once you align with your higher timeline, something powerful awakens inside you, the understanding that your life is not just about you. Your future self didn't guide you, push you, and pull you across timelines just so you could live comfortably. It guided you because you have work to do, impact to create, people to uplift, lives to change, energy to shift. The mission is the reason the signs intensified. The mission is why your old life collapsed. The mission is why the universe kept nudging you when you tried to stay small. Most people think their purpose is a career or a talent. But your true mission is frequency. The energy you carry affects everyone around you. When you shift the field. And when you shift the field, you shift the world. Your future self understands this deeply. That's why it kept calling you forward, because the world needs the version of you who is awake, aligned, and activated. Your mission begins when you stop asking, "What do I want from life?" and start asking, "What does life want from me?" And the answer is simple, life wants you to express the highest version of yourself. Life wants you to embody your power without apology. Life wants you to expand, evolve, elevate, and then help the people around you do the same. Your mission doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. You don't need all the answers. You just need alignment. You don't need a map. You just need to keep following the pull. When you act from your higher identity, you naturally become a catalyst. Your courage inspires others. Your clarity guides others. Your energy elevates others. Without even trying, you become a transmitter of possibility, a lighthouse in a world that forgot how to see. And here's the truth most people never hear, your mission is encoded in your frequency, not your achievements. You came here with a specific energetic signature, a vibration that only you can express. When you live in alignment with your future self, that signature becomes louder, clearer, more impactful. You stop blending in. You start standing out. Not because you're trying, but because authenticity is magnetic. Your mission might show up as creativity. It might show up as leadership. It might show up as healing. It might show up as teaching, building, inspiring, or simply living in a way that gives others permission to rise. But however it expresses itself, one thing is certain: your mission is bigger than your fear. That's why fear showed up so strongly before the shift, because your old identity knew it was losing control. But your future self knew something else: on the other side of fear is power. On the other side of doubt is clarity. On the other side of resistance is destiny. And now that you've crossed the threshold, your responsibility is no longer survival, it is service. Not service in the sense of sacrifice, but service in the sense of expansion. When you expand, you lift everyone connected to you. When you heal the timelines connected to you. When you align, you change the probability field for generations ahead of you. Your mission is not to chase outcomes, your mission is to maintain the frequency that attracts them. Your mission is to stay connected to your future self, to trust its guidance, to follow its impulses, to keep collapsing into the timeline of your highest expression. And finally, your mission is to share this awareness, because someone else is right now experiencing the same signs you once ignored. Someone else is waking up. Someone else is being pulled. And you may be the signal they need. This is why you're here. This is why you're awakening. This is why your future self contacted you. Not to change your life, but to change the world through you. If this message activated something inside you, don't ignore it. Your timeline is shifting because you're finally ready to receive. Backhand index pointing right. Hit subscribe, not for me, but for the version of you that's rising. Backhand index pointing right. Like the video to lock this frequency into your field. Backhand index pointing right. Comment, I'm ready, so the universe sees your signal. Backhand index pointing right and share this video with someone who's feeling the shift too. You might be the sign they've been waiting for. This isn't just a video. This is a doorway. Step through it.